Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen Woodhouse, and in today's video, we're sharing the full reveal of our primary bathroom remodel. You guys, I am so excited because we went from this to this. This transformation is gonna blow your socks off, so buckle up, Buttercup. This video is gonna be a good one. Big thanks to American Standard for sponsoring this video. This bathroom remodel would not be possible without them, and I can't wait to show you all the beautiful American Standard fixtures that we used to completely transform and elevate our space. For over 140 years, American Standard has been one of the most trusted brands in the industry, with high quality, high performing, and stylish products for your entire kitchen and bath. We'll take a closer look at all the fixtures we chose in just a bit. But first, let's go back in time and take a little tour of our bathroom before. Brace yourselves. Our house was built in the late 90s, and I guess angles were really trendy back then because everything in our bathroom was on an angle. Angled water closet, angled tub, angled shower, angles everywhere. When you enter, there's a long hallway where our closets are on opposite sides. By the way, keep an eye out for our next video. I'm gonna show you how we gave our closets a total makeover. Now, we didn't increase the space, but we did gain so much more storage and functionality. Then once you get into the bathroom, the space opens up a bit, and to your left is this tiny water closet with an angled swing-out door. This is Adam's least favorite part because he feels pretty claustrophobic in this space and he can't poop in peace. Can we say poop on camera? Then next to that is the angled walk-in shower, which is surprisingly large, but it's a shame that this wall is here because it blocks out all that beautiful natural light that's coming through the window. We also had to hang a shower curtain up just to keep the heat in. Next to the shower, you have Adam's vanity, which is perfectly adequate. But we're not going for adequate here, are we? We're going for showstopper, so stay with me. The new vanity turned out amazing. And then next to that is a giant tub that we literally never used. Let me know in the comments if you think a bathtub is necessary in a primary bathroom. Now, we've got a tub in the kids' bathroom, but Adam and I aren't bathtub people. Like, who has that kind of time? So it's just a lot of wasted space for us. But I wanna know, is not having a tub in the primary bathroom a deal breaker for you? I would have liked to keep the tub and create a whole wet room area where the tub is inside the shower, but we just didn't have the space for 2 showers and a tub, so we made an executive decision, got rid of the tub, and went with a double shower idea, and I'm not mad about it. After talking with real estate agents and builders in our area, it seems that the consensus is if there's a tub somewhere in the house, then we're good to go and we aren't hurting our resale value. Finally, that brings us to my vanity. Strangely enough, it's a good 4 inches shorter than Adam's, and I didn't realize it until one day I was washing my face and I was like, why do I feel like I'm washing my face on my knees? I made the new vanity taller so it's much more comfortable for us. Here's a rough layout of the new plan. We're making the shower space bigger so we can have a double shower. We're squaring off the water closet and putting in a pocket door, and getting rid of the tub and moving my vanity over so that we can have a large double vanity along the back wall. By making these changes, we hope to not only improve the flow of the room and increase the functionality of the overall space, but also boost our home's value by updating the aesthetic with new tile, fixtures, and lighting. Now, as you may know, we do a lot of DIY around here, but for this remodel, we chose to hire most of the work out for a few reasons. When we remodeled our guest bathroom, we did all of the work ourselves, and we learned a ton of new skills, but it was very slow going. By the way, if you want to watch that video, I'll link it here for you. So for this remodel, we had a shorter timeline but a bigger budget, so we chose to pay the pros for their expertise, experience, and to have the convenience of getting the job done more quickly. It's demo day! We tore everything down so we could start from a blank slate. Taking down those angled walls really opened up the space and brightened up the bathroom. The shower was already a curbless or zero entry shower, and I want to bring your attention to how the original builders recessed the subfloor in between the floor joists. For a curbless shower, you need the shower floor to be lower than the rest of the floor because you must account for the thickness of the cement board, the mud bed, waterproof liner, mortar, and the thickness of the tile, which will bring the shower floor level up. So what the builders did was they recessed the shower floor and then built up the surrounding floor, so once everything is said and done, the bathroom and the shower floor are all at the same level. So why would you want a curbless shower? Well, there are a few reasons. It eliminates a tripping hazard, making it easily accessible for all ages. I mean, you could roll your wheelchair right up in there without any issues. So it's a good thing to have in a house that will age with you. There are also no nooks and crannies where mildew or mold can grow, so it's easier to keep clean, which is super important in a bathroom. And a curbless shower makes the room appear larger by allowing the floor tile to flow seamlessly throughout the space. If you watched my Woodhouse workshop video, you'll recognize the framers. They framed up my workshop building and they made quick work of the little bit of framing that had to be done in our bathroom. We certainly could have done this part ourselves, but Gustavo and his team are pros and they got everything framed up in just a few short hours. Keeping a separate water closet was a non-negotiable for Adam, so we basically tore that wall down just to build it back up. But we did square off the room and gained a little bit more space. We also replaced the swing-out door with a pocket door, which I love because it is such a space saver. The framing stage is a great time to think about where you might need additional stud support for fixtures like shower grab bars, towel bars, robe hooks, etc. We also added extra blocking where the shower glass would be installed so that the glass in the door have something solid to anchor to. A little foresight during the framing stage goes a long way. Once the framing was done, our electricians spent a day and did the rough-in electrical. They moved and added recessed lighting so it lined up with our new layout. And we also upgraded the exhaust vents in the shower and the water closet. And we had them put a power outlet in the water closet for the bidet and to charge our phones, I mean, let's be honest. Speaking of which, we have a video showing you how to install this one-piece toilet and bidet seat. It is a super easy project that any homeowner can tackle in just a few hours. This is also the stage for rough-in plumbing. The plumbers came and tied in new water lines to the old ones and replaced the copper pipes with PEX pipes. They chose to use PEX because it's much easier and quicker to install, and it's more durable than copper. The less time they spend on installation, the better my cost savings are since they charge by the hour. Also, the lifespan of PEX tubing is 40 to 50 years, so it's easy to see why it's become the industry standard. Since we're replacing the separate vanities with a double vanity that will go along the back wall, the plumbers capped off the water lines at my vanity and added an extra water line next to Adam's vanity. We're going with wall-mounted faucets in here just like we did in our powder room, and I love them because they make cleaning the countertops so easy, but it was a little tricky to plan for them because there's no standard. I had to account for things like the thickness of the cement board, mortar, the thickness of the floor tile, and the height of the vanity. So how far above the sink should a faucet go? With a wall-mounted faucet, it really would depend on the design. Like, does the neck arch up or does it come straight out from the wall? There are a lot of different things to consider when planning for a wall-mounted faucet. I finally decided that 4 to 6 inches from the spout to the top of the counter felt just right. The plumbers also rerouted the old shower water lines and the drains. At this stage, it is very important to make sure that everything lines up perfectly because once the tile is up, it won't be an easy fix. So be sure your plumbers pay attention to detail and place the valves exactly where you want them. I actually had to have them come back and move one shower valve a few inches over because the two weren't centered in the space. Luckily, the walls were still exposed, so this was a quick and easy fix for my plumbers. But I'm so glad that I did because not having the shower valves centered in the shower would have driven me crazy. And it would have been a much more complicated and expensive thing to fix in later stages. So now is the best time to be picky. Once rough-in plumbing and electrical is done, we can move on to insulation, drywall, and priming. We kept most of the old insulation because it was still in good shape, so we just spent about half an hour filling the voids in the walls with sound dampening batt insulation. We hired a great drywall team, and it was mesmerizing to watch them work. The first day was spent hanging the drywall, cutting out holes for the faucets and other fixtures, and then the next 2 days they taped and mudded the drywall and patched the ceiling. As soon as the drywall mud was dry, my favorite painters came in and they primed everything. They love following a great drywall guy because it means there will be less mistakes, if any, for them to fix. One of the most common questions I had when I shared our bathroom progress on social media was if you need a special paint for a bathroom. And my pro painters say no, but there are 3 important things to remember. Number 1, don't skip the priming. Priming is the most important because you want to start from a stable, known surface. Number 2, use a high quality paint. We usually use Sherwin-Williams Emerald line. And number 3, have adequate venting in the bathroom. Next up is tiling. Now, I didn't tile the bathroom this time because of the curbless shower. I was very happy to call in the pros for this because the prep work required for a curbless shower is very tricky. From start to finish, the tile guys took about 6 to 8 days to tile the entire bathroom. Now this included leveling the floor, installing cement board, sloping the shower floor, laying the mud bed in the shower, setting the drain, waterproofing the surfaces, laying the tile, and grouting. Whew! The first thing they did was correct any uneven spots in the bathroom floor with some floor leveler, and then they screwed 1/2-inch cement board to the floor. Cement board provides a stable surface for installing tile or stone and protects against moisture, which is something that you need in wet areas like bathrooms. We have a linear drain against the back wall running the full length of the shower, so the tile guys use mud to slope the shower floor towards that drain. Once the mud bed dried, they laid a waterproof PVC liner down, making sure to run the liner up the walls about 6 inches. Then they hung the cement board on the walls overlapping the PVC liner. They taped and mudded the seams and then waterproofed the walls with Hydroban, which is a roll-on, brush-on waterproofing membrane. Then they laid another mud bed over the shower liner, screeded everything so that it was nice and even, while still making sure the floor sloped towards the drain. Look how nice and clean this shower looks so far. It's going to look incredible covered in marble tile. I cannot wait. Once all the painstaking prep work was done, the tile guys started laying the tile on the bathroom floor first. I chose a wood look porcelain tile and had it laid in a herringbone pattern. When laying tile in a herringbone pattern, you'll want to get about 20% more tile than if you were laying the tile in a standard pattern to account for the angled cuts and more complex pattern. First, they mapped out the herringbone layout, centering the pattern down the hallway. And then they started laying tile at the back wall and moved out towards the bedroom. The next day, when the shower floor mud bed was dry, they continued laying the floor tile in the shower. Then they installed the wall tile in the shower. I chose a honed marble tile with a honed marble pencil tile for the trim. They started tiling at the bottom, but discovered the floor tile wasn't quite set solid enough to support the weight of the marble tile, so they screwed a temporary ledger board to the wall and tiled from that point up. Once the mortar had a day to set, they removed the ledger board, resealed all the screw holes with waterproofing membrane, and then finished tiling below. The next day, they removed the spacers and cleaned off the excess mortar from the tiles and then grouted everything. I was so excited to see what the tile looked like without all those clips in the way. Then our local glass supplier came and measured for the shower glass and door, which actually took about 2 months to come in because the parts were backordered. Let's talk about shower niches. I have a love-hate relationship with them. Niches are great and useful things to have, but they're usually placed in plain view where you're ultimately putting your toiletries and your crusty bar of soap out on display for all to see. I prefer for all of that stuff to be out of sight, so I agonized over where to place the shower niche. Then I had a light bulb moment and I considered putting in a shower ledge instead of a niche. They're starting to grow in popularity in the design world, and I actually came to love this option the more I thought about it. I think a ledge is superior to a niche for a few reasons. They're easier to frame, easier to tile, and easier to clean. They also allow for any size shampoo bottle to fit. And here's where things got even better. Because we built the ledge, this made the wall between the water closet and the shower double the thickness, which allowed me to frame out a little nook for the toilet brush and plunger in the water closet. No precious floor space is wasted in this tiny room, and those nasty things are hidden away. How clever is that? We also added a little foothold in the shower ledge to prop up a leg for shaving. This is the American Standard Town Square S 2-handle integrated shower diverter trim kit. I love the classic, elegant lines of this design. It's timeless and traditional and a little bit formal. And the craftsmanship is top-notch. The polished nickel finish is tarnish and scratch resistant. I love that polished nickel has a warmer tone than chrome, which makes it perfect for pairing with a brass finish. We also added a handheld shower head on each side, which slides on a 30-inch bar so you can easily adjust the position. These handheld shower heads also make cleaning the shower easier. We installed the toilet and bidet seat in the water closet, and I'll link that video right here so you can check that out if you'd like. We chose the American Standard Town Square S one-piece toilet with the Advanced Clean electric spa-lit bidet seat. This bidet seat easily replaces a standard toilet seat as long as you have a power source nearby. So if you don't want to undergo a full bathroom remodel, you can easily switch out your toilet or add a bidet seat and still upgrade your bathroom experience. Check out this beautiful one-piece toilet. It has a skirted base, which not only looks great, but again, will be much easier to keep clean. It's a chair height toilet with an elongated bowl, so it's super comfortable, and adding that bidet seat makes this throne fit for a king. The bidet seat has self-cleaning dual nozzles for front and back cleansing, a warm air dryer, and a heated seat, which is my favorite. You can adjust the spray strength, the water, dryer, and seat temperature, as well as the direction of the spray nozzles. Super fancy. Okay, let's talk about this double vanity that I built. Ever since we bought our French colonial home, I've been so inspired by Louis XVI furniture, so I designed this vanity with that in mind. I designed the turned legs and added this fluted detail and delicate foot. The main carcass of this vanity is very easy to build. I just took it up a notch by adding small routed details to the drawer faces and took advantage of that beautiful black walnut wood grain with these book-matched doors. I really wanted to highlight that amazing wood grain. If you want to build this vanity for yourself, I've got the step-by-step PDF plans available on my site, which I'll link below. For the countertop, we had our local stone fabricator make it from a marble remnant that we had left over from our kitchen remodel. We did this curved backsplash with a pretty OG edge and went with white American Standard undermount sinks. This marble backsplash is the perfect backdrop for these beautiful polished nickel faucets. This is also from the Town Square S collection, and I just love a wall-mounted faucet. They make cleaning the countertop so much easier. And because I didn't want to interrupt the view of this beautiful backsplash, I opted to put the power outlets in the vanity instead of on the wall. Very happy that those not so attractive things are hidden out of sight, but we still have the functionality of it. The pulls and knobs on the vanity are an unlacquered brass, which will develop a beautiful patina as it ages. I love mixing metals in a space. Of course, all of the hardware is soft closing. When the trim guy didn't show up, I got stuck doing all the trim work in here, which actually ended up being a good thing because I really enjoy the meticulousness it takes to do finished carpentry. I was able to take my time and do some fancy trim work in here, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I have a couple of crash course videos on my Instagram account on how I install baseboards and crown molding if you're interested. Okay, we are nearing the finish line. My painters came and filled all the nail holes with painter's putty, they caulked the seams, and then painted everything. A great painter can make a mediocre carpenter look good. As for the paint color, I had a lot of questions about it. This color is called Pigeon by Farrow and Ball. At first, I was just gonna go with my tried and true White Dove or Swiss Coffee, but at the last minute, I decided to go a little moodier in here, but I was looking for an ambiguous color, like a color that you can't really put your finger on. And this color is perfect. It's a chameleon color. Depending on the time of day, it can look gray, kind of green, beige, or even blue at times. And the way it ties into the marble tones and plays off the black walnut vanity, I just think it's perfect. It's interesting, a bit moody, and still calming. Finally, the last piece of the puzzle, the shower glass was installed, and we went with this polished nickel doorknob instead of a basic shower handle. I love that little detail. A lot of thought, time, and effort went into this bathroom remodel, and I'm so happy with how it all turned out. These elegant American Standard finishes really elevate our bathroom and bring everything up to date while still remaining timeless and classic. Building the vanity was a labor of love for me, and now the flow of the room makes more sense with how we live in and use the space. We're so grateful to our amazing brand partner, American Standard, for helping us bring these ideas to life. All the pertinent links are in the description box below so you can check them out. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to hit that like and subscribe button and let me know which part is your favorite by leaving a comment below. For more home improvement and DIY project ideas, visit jenwoodhouse.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.